Give you a taste of your own medicine. Hey, you don't get your act together, you might have to act together. Don't want broken promises, don't want apologies. I don't wanna be the one complaining. Just hold on to mama's hand and never let it go. If you wanna hear me say your name, gotta make me say your name.
It's really my engagement ring. I love it. I bought it for myself from Walmart.
Why would a woman worth $3 million buy herself a $600 engagement ring from Walmart? Queen Naija stood in front of her phone camera in September 2024, laughing nervously while showing off the ring, saying she wears it in public so people think she's engaged. 6 years, 2 kids.
Won't put a ring on her finger, but put a baby up in her.
3 cars she bought for him, a $55,000 Rolex on his wrist, and she's shopping at Walmart for her own ring. But before we get to why Clarence White won't marry her, you need to understand where Queen came from, because what happened in her childhood explains everything happening now. Born October 17, 1995 in Ypsilanti, Michigan, Queen Naija Bulls entered a world with no rules, no bedtime, and no structure. Her mother, Reva, trying to escape her own strict upbringing, created the opposite extreme. And when Queen sat down with Crystal Renee on Keep It Positive, Sweetie, she revealed just how chaotic her childhood really was.
My mom was like we had a very free-spirited house with no boundaries, and I think it's because she felt like the house that she grew up in was so super strict, so she was like, oh, I'm not going to do this to my kids in my house.
No bedtime meant no discipline, and no discipline meant consequences that still haunt her. On that same podcast, Queen admitted something that shows how that lack of structure still affects her today.
We would bang pots and pans in the kitchen. It was really fun, but like I've been chasing the bus since I was in 5th grade. I'm late to everything. I just left my purse on the plane 2 days ago.
But being disorganized with travel is nothing compared to what that lack of structure did to her relationships. Because when you grow up without boundaries, you don't know how to set them with men. Her parents? Queen never talks about her father. Reva raised her essentially as a single mother in the Detroit area. They moved constantly, Ypsilanti, Detroit, back and forth across the metro area. The one constant was church, Pentecostal, old school, speaking in tongues, and 3-year-old Queen singing No Weapon so anointed that prophets would stop services to give her words. And those prophetic words weren't gentle suggestions. They were warnings. Warnings Queen would spend the next 26 years running from.
When it got to me, it's like he said, depart from me. I do not know you.
At 19, Queen married Chris Sales, August 2013. 2 teenagers in love thinking YouTube pranks could build a forever. They shared a 1-bedroom apartment in low-income housing. She got pregnant with their son CJ almost immediately. Born in 2015, CJ became part of their content, and their channel blew up. Chris and Queen, relationship goals, or so it seemed. But behind the vlogs and the pranks, the marriage was dying. Chris later told Vlad TV they grew apart and lost faith in God. That loss of faith is where everything unraveled, because when you abandon God, you'll accept anything. And what Queen accepted next would change her life forever. Here's what nobody talks about. In 2016, Queen auditioned for American Idol. She made it through initial rounds, but she didn't make it to the televised episodes. The rejection crushed her. So instead of pursuing music traditionally, she doubled down on YouTube. And that decision led her straight to Clarence White. August 2017, Hurricane Harvey tore through Houston where Queen and Chris were living. They fled to Atlanta, but when they got there, Chris left her, just packed up and went back to Houston alone. Queen followed him, and when she arrived, Chris immediately left for Los Angeles. Let me repeat that. He abandoned his wife in Houston to run to California. But Queen wasn't heartbroken. She was already planning her exit, because 1 month earlier, she'd been scrolling Instagram and found her next meal ticket. September 2017, Clarence White, a model living in his mother's basement in New York. No job, no money, just dreams of being an influencer. And Queen wanted him. She slid into his DMs first. They started talking. He asked for clothing sizes for her and Chris to send them hoodies. She encouraged him to start YouTube. They followed each other. Then Chris found out and made her block him. But 1 month later, the marriage was over, and Queen, freshly separated and living with friends, unblocked Clarence. She found his new YouTube channel and watched a smash or pass video where they rated influencers. Her photo came up, and Clarence's reaction should have been the first red flag. She's nice. She's spicy. I don't know about sweet heat. She's spicy enough. Spicy enough. Not enthusiastic, not excited, just adequate. Queen later admitted on YouTube that his lukewarm response hurt her feelings. But instead of seeing that as the warning it was, she unblocked him on Instagram to confront him. And that confrontation turned into flirting. That flirting turned into plans, and those plans turned into her biggest hit.
Give you a taste of your own medicine. Hey, yeah.
December 2017. Medicine dropped, and the lyrics weren't subtle. I'm a collar Brian, I'm a FaceTime Ryan, I'm a text Lorenzo, and I'ma leave you crying. Lorenzo is Clarence's middle name. She was singing about her side piece while still legally married. The song went viral immediately. Genius invited her to their offices in January 2018 to break down the lyrics, and Queen saw her opportunity. She flew to New York, met Clarence in person for the first time, and filmed YouTube content together.
I'm a ride, I'm crazy, and you never have a clue.
But here's the tea nobody caught. Clarence had a girlfriend, Leslie, and Leslie later came forward with a story about how she watched Chris and Queen's vlogs with Clarence, completely unaware that Queen would become her replacement. Leslie revealed what Clarence told her about his relationship with Queen. 5 years. Leslie waited 5 years for Clarence, but Queen wanted him, and Queen had money, connections, and a plan. Within months, she'd hired Clarence's sister as her manager, put his whole family on payroll, and Clarence quit whatever he was doing to become her full-time accessory. March 2018, Queen signed to Capitol Records, major label, life-changing deal, and Clarence was at every meeting sitting beside her like he earned it. But he didn't earn anything. She gave it to him, just like she'd give him everything else. April 2018, gospel legend John P. Key accused Queen of stealing his melody for her song Karma.
Life and favor. Thank you for bringing me out.
Just remember what goes around comes around.
The melodies were identical. John, a publisher for 35 years, wasn't playing games. He called her out publicly. Queen denied it on Twitter, but his niece, R&B singer Lil Mo, went to war for her uncle. And when Lil Mo spoke about it on The Breakfast Club, she didn't hold back about the disrespect.
And then she followed that up by tweeting, "What in the fake church folk is going on?"
The disrespect was crazy, and Clarence made it worse by hopping online asking who Lil Mo even was. Queen's boyfriend was burning industry bridges while she was trying to build a career, and people started whispering. One insider would later tell Lil Mo something damning about how Queen treats people based on their status. August 2018, they moved in together. Queen announced she was pregnant, and her divorce from Chris still wasn't finalized. The timeline was messy. The optics were terrible, but Queen didn't care. She was in love, or whatever she thought love was. January 29, 2019, legend Lorenzo White was born, and that's when Clarence revealed who he really was. Queen's mother Reva came to the hospital to meet her grandson, and Clarence denied her entry into the room. A grandmother, blocked from her newborn grandchild by a man who'd been around barely a year. The fallout was nuclear. Reva and Clarence's relationship never recovered, and online users saw it clearly. Isolation tactics. Clarence was cutting Queen off from her family so he could control her completely, and it worked. But before the baby drama, there was the birthday disaster. October 2018, Queen turned 23. Clarence gave her a promise ring. Social media found it online. $600 from Tiffany's. The diamond was so small they called it a toe ring. But here's the part that made everyone rage. Days before her birthday, Queen bought Clarence a $55,000 Rolex. She gave him a watch worth 92 times what he spent on her ring. And she posted about it, calling him a real man. $600 for the mother of his child, $55,000 for the man with no job living off her, and people saw exactly what was happening. Queen was being used, and she was letting it happen, just like she let him convince her to get surgery. March 2019, Queen got a BBL. Online users said she did it because Clarence barely complimented her appearance. And years later, Queen would admit she wished she'd never did it. She changed her body for a man who wouldn't even spend $1,000 on her birthday. But it gets worse, because while Queen was building Clarence up, buying him cars and watches and opportunities, allegations started surfacing. May 2023, Chris Sales went on record with thoughts about Clarence's faithfulness that had everyone talking. Then, in January 2025, on their son Legend's 6th birthday, a woman released DMs allegedly from Clarence. Messages about sneaking around, claims she was pregnant, and screenshots showing Clarence allegedly sent her close to $6,000. The same man who gave Queen a $600 promise ring allegedly had $6,000 to send another woman. Clarence denied everything, but the math wasn't mathing. And if you think that's wild, in 2020, someone released a whole book called Queen of Lies, exposing their relationship. The anonymous author claimed Clarence was escorting older women before Queen, that he cheated on Queen with his ex, Leslie, that everything was a business transaction disguised as love. People suspected Leslie wrote it. She denied it, but somebody with insider information was talking. Speaking of Leslie and Chris, here's a plot twist. After Chris and Queen divorced, Chris dated Leslie, Clarence's ex-girlfriend, the same Leslie who watched Queen's vlogs with Clarence. Chris and Leslie dated, then broke up because everyone in this story is messy. But while all this relationship drama was unfolding, Queen was making money, serious money. In 2020, she opened for Mary J. Blige on tour, major venues, different demographics, and Mary gave her one piece of advice at the after party: take your time. Queen said she doesn't know what Mary meant, relationships, career, or what, but the advice stuck, except Queen's not taking time. She's wasting it.
I'm just really honored that she sees something in me to share her stage with. She's a legend. And I'm not lying to y'all. The first time I ever opened my mouth and sang a song when I was 3 was Mary J's song.
Oh,
so
man.
It's like a full circle moment for me, and it's like my mom is super proud because I grew up off of Mary and Monica and Whitney, and I'm just really excited. I'm happy that I get to be on tour with my sis LMA. It's just gonna be so fun. I can't wait.
Today, Queen has 2 sons. CJ Sales from her first marriage is 9 years old. Legend Lorenzo White is 6. 2 handsome boys. And when Queen appeared on the cruise show, she opened up about something that's destroying her mentally.
When people used to ask me that question, like, how do you balance it all? I used to be like, oh, well, it's easy because it's not.
She has mom guilt, deep mom guilt, because while she's perfecting R&B albums and going on tour, her kids are home wondering why mommy's always gone. And here's the darker truth that Queen revealed on that same show about where she does her real therapy.
I have my therapy sessions in my car. My car has seen every single tear that I've dropped.
She's screaming in cars, crying alone, buying herself engagement rings. Because after 6 years, 2 kids, 3 cars purchased for him, that Rolex, his family on her payroll, and countless opportunities, Clarence still hasn't proposed. August 2024, their 6th anniversary, Clarence surprised Queen with flowers and a new car. But watch her face in the video. She looks devastated.
It's our 6th year anniversary. We've been together for 6 years, you guys. So
There's that.
And just 1 month later, September 2024, Queen posted herself with a ring from Walmart, admitting she bought it herself and wears it in public so people think she's engaged. That begs the question, Clarence, what are you waiting for to marry our girl Naija? Can you please answer this question? This is so sad, guys. She's given herself what Clarence won't, creating the illusion of commitment while living in limbo. And her ex-husband Chris, he called out the pattern years ago. When Clarence gave Queen a Birkin bag for her birthday, Chris went live and exposed exactly how that gift really happened.
Claire Bear did not get her that Birkin. Queen gave the money to Claire Bear, and Claire Bear got her the Birkin, okay?
She's buying her own gifts, her own ring, her own validation, while Clarence collects checks. But here's what makes this worse. Queen has massive projects coming. Let's not kid ourselves, girl can sing. Oh, she has a beautiful voice. Naija is talented and beautiful. On the cruise show, she revealed her entire music situation.
This time around, I'm trying to be consistent. Because, you know, consistency is key. So.
The EP drops first because of her Capitol Records deal. She recorded in Miami and came back saying it might be better than the album. She's experimenting with Afrobeat, sexy drill, and sounds beyond traditional R&B. One song is called Put It On, confidence music for TikTok Get Ready With Me videos. She teased it during New York Fashion Week in September 2024, her first time attending. The experience inspired her to think differently about how she presents herself.
And I feel like music and fashion kind of like goes hand in hand. And I'm like, I really want to get into that. I don't know a lot of the brands and things like that. So that's something I really want to like, maybe I should do that as a hobby, like study that on the side.
Queen's also been streaming on Twitch, trying to build consistency. She admitted she's impulsive and used to drop music randomly, but now she's strategic, rolling out back-to-back projects because she's tired of dropping good music then disappearing. Her birthday is in October, by the way, and she hinted the new music might drop around then. Queen-tober, she called it. She's about to turn 30, and when she talked to the cruise show about approaching that milestone, she revealed something about her need for structure.
I'm gonna be 30, so like I'm like, okay, it's time to like get away from these
Did you
bad
grow up
habits.
without structure?
But while Queen builds her R&B empire, she's running from something bigger. On Keep It Positive, Sweetie, Queen opened up about the prophetic words that have haunted her since childhood.
The prophets would come and be like, your voice is for the Lord. Don't use it for, but as y'all can see, I'm doing R&B.
But then she said something terrifying that reveals where her heart really is about making the gospel album everyone's been waiting for.
It's more so like, I'm just trying to get my relationship right with God so that I can hear from him directly.
Notice the word when, not if. She already knows it's coming. Crystal Renee brought up something that clearly struck a nerve with Queen about current events and biblical prophecy.
Like, you're coming any day now. Like, and I was like, I just want to be ready. And every day I'm talking to God, I'm like, God, I just want to honor you in everything I do. I know I'm not perfect, but you know I'm trying.
And Queen's response showed just how much conviction she's under about releasing secular music.
I try not to watch like the news and stuff. I'm looking at everything. The Bible is really unfolding. And I'm like, dang, do I make this album? Do I put this out? Like,
She's questioning whether to release R&B music because she thinks Jesus is coming back soon. That's not casual faith. That's conviction. Heavy, paralyzing conviction. But she's pushing it down to chase success. And the music is paying off financially because Queen's net worth as of 2025 is approximately $3 million. She built it from YouTube ad revenue, music streaming, touring with Mary J. Blige, and brand partnerships. $3 million at 29 years old. Self-made, from low-income housing to millionaire. If that's not the favor of God, I don't know what is, right? I'm just saying. But what's the point of $3 million if you're buying your own engagement ring? What's the point of success if you're crying in your car? What's the point of a platform if you're disobeying your calling? And Queen knows she's disobeying because she told Crystal something that shows she's already imagining the conversation she'll have with God when she stands before him.
I'm not trying to be dibbling-dabbling, doing this and that when I do that, because I want it to be very like genuine, you know?
She's already hearing what God will say, already knowing she's disobedient, and she's still choosing R&B, still choosing Clarence, still choosing compromise. Queen grew up with no structure, no boundaries, no bedtime, and now she's living ring with no commitment, no ring, no future with the man she built. She went from food stamps to $3 million, from low-income housing to luxury homes, from YouTube pranks to Capitol Records. But she's still broken in the ways that matter, still waiting for Clarence to propose, still running from God's calling, still screaming in her car because nobody hears her pain. We hear you, girl. The fake engagement ring is on her finger. The R&B album is ready. The prophet's warnings echo louder. And Queen Naija Bulls has to decide. Keep pretending everything's fine or face the truth that she's been running from since she was 3 years old singing in that Detroit church. Her voice was never hers. It belongs to God. And every day she uses it for anything else is a day she's living outside her purpose. But facing that truth means losing everything she built, losing Clarence, losing the R&B career, losing the image she's created. So she bought herself a ring from Walmart, and she'll keep pretending until she can't anymore.